Terminus by Ralph Waldo Emerson, 1803 to 1882. It is time to be old, to take in sail. The god of bounds, who sets to seas ashore, came to me in his fatal rounds and said, "No more. No farther shoot thy broad ambitious branches and thy root. Fancy departs, no more invent. Contract thy firmament to compass of a tent. There's not enough for this and that. Make thy option which of two. Economize the failing river, not the less revere the giver. Leave the many and hold the few. Timely wise, accept the terms. Soften the fall with wary foot. A little while shall plan and smile, and, fault of novel germs, mature the unfallen fruit. Curse, if thou wilt, thy sires, bad husbands of thy fires, who, when they gave thee breath, failed to bequeath the needful sinew stark as once, the berserk marrow to thy bones, but left a legacy of ebbing veins. Inconstant heat nevertheless reigns. Amid the muses, left thee deaf and dumb, amid the gladiators halt and numb. As the bird trims her to the gale, I trim myself to the storm of time. I man the rudder, reef the sail, obey the voice at eve, obeyed at prime. Lowly faithful, banish fear, right onward drive unharmed. The port, well worth the cruise, is near, and every wave is charmed. Okay, this is a poem by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Let's see, Ralph Waldo Emerson was born in Boston. He went to Harvard University, and he was he was a transcendentalist. He was into transcendentalism, but I think I would call Ralph Waldo Emerson, he's a philosopher. He's somebody who's interested in religion, in different types of religion. He's a philosopher trying to work out his position in the world. That he works out, trying to work out where he is. He's a philosopher. And let's see, this poem, I think itself, is about transcendentalism in a way. Let's see, transcendentalism is talking about the fact that we should rely on our own intuition. We should we should think and follow our own inner compass. We should follow our own consciences. That this world is not black and white with morality, right and wrong. There are a million shades of colour, and we need to focus on nature and to look at nature and to learn from nature. Because nature is the only place where we can learn who we are, who we really are at the deepest level. I think he also believed that the industrialization of the world was a very bad thing, because this was taking us away from nature, and we needed to concentrate on nature, to look and learn from nature, and to teach our conscience from nature. Now, Terminus. Okay, Terminus, the title, Terminus is the god of endings. It's the god of limits. And this poem is a conversation between Terminus and Emerson. And this poem is about old age. It's about getting old. It's about reducing the things that you do, to take care of what is left in life, because Terminus, the Greek god of endings, has come and talked to an old man or an older man, and he tells him that you're not dead yet, you're not going to die yet, but you've got to reduce all of the ambitions that you had in youth. Take care of the life you have. Don't start new things, but grow the fruit that you have. Take care of the things that you have, and when the time comes to die happy, to embrace death, because this is what life is. So it is time to be old, to take in sail. So when you're sailing, if you take in sail, you reduce the angle of the sails and you sail more slowly. So it's time to be old. You're getting old. I know all about this one. Take in your sails, reduce your sails. The god of bounds, who sets to seas ashore, came to me in his fatal rounds and said, no more. So the god of bounds is the Greek god Terminus, and he came and he said to me, no more. Time is running out. So he's doing his rounds. He's looking at where things should terminate. And this is the god of bounds who puts the shore to the sea. So even a mighty sea has an edge, but Terminus is in charge of that. So all life has a limit. Lives have limits, and death is inevitable. And he said, no more. No farther shoot thy broad ambitions and thy route. So don't start with new things. Don't start new ambitious projects. Don't put down new routes. Fancy departs, no more invent. So don't keep growing your world. So if we look at nature, plants or animals or nature, it grows, it reaches maturity, and then it decreases and dies. And now is the time to decrease. Contract. So don't invent any more things. Contract thy firmament to the compass of a tent. So reduce your world to the radius of a tent. Don't try to do everything in the world, go everywhere in the world. Reduce your reach to the reach of a tent. There's not enough for this and that. Make thy option which of two. So you haven't got enough time or enough energy for both this and that. You've got to choose one of them. Choose either this or that, but not both. Economize the failing river. So the river is your river of life. Economize with your life. Economize with your strength. Economize what you're doing. Not the less, revere the giver. However, continue to revere the giver, God. So don't reduce your love or your reverence of God, but reduce the amount you're doing. You've got energy for less. Leave the many and hold the few. So stop trying to hold many things in your hands. Stop trying to cover everything. Hold the few things that are worth holding. Timely wise, accept the terms. So accept the terms of the contract. The contract of life says you're young, you're born, you're young, you grow, you become mature, then you get older, and then you die. So accept the terms of contract. These are the terms of contract of nature. Soften the fall with wary foot. So you're falling, so be careful what you do. Look where you step. Be more careful. Yeah? So your life is now falling towards death. So soften this, make it easier. A little while, still plan and smile. So you can continue for a little while, you can continue to plan, you can continue to be happy, you can continue to think. And fault of novel germs mature the unfallen fruit. So you don't grow new fruit, don't grow novel germs, don't grow new things, but mature the things that you have, mature the fruits that are growing on your tree. Yeah, it's like a tree. Don't start producing new fruit, but ripen and make perfect the fruit that is still growing, that hasn't fallen yet. Curse if thou wilt thy sires, bad husbands of thy fires, who, when they gave thee breath, failed to bequeath the needful sinew, stark as once, the bare sake marrow to thy bones, left a legacy of ebbing veins. So, if you want, curse your faculties, curse your arms, curse your mental faculties, curse your heart, curse your energies, because they haven't managed to get your fires. That they haven't given you the fire, the energy to continue forever. And you can curse them for not giving you eternal energy. So when they gave thee breath, when you were born, your sires or your life, it didn't give you the needful sinew, stark as once, the bare sake marrow to thy bones. So bare sark, this is a word for berserk, a berserk amount of energy, a crazy amount of energy. So you weren't, when you were born, you can curse the fact that you weren't given energy to last forever. You weren't given more than to reach the point that you will reach. And the only thing that you have now is ebbing veins. To ebb is to slowly decrease. So you can rail against the fact that you're not going to be young forever. But this is how it is. And one of the facts of being born is ebbing veins, inconstant heat, and nerveless reins. Okay, so you are decreasing. You can fight against it, but it's not going to make any difference. Amid the muses left thee deaf and dumb, amid the gladiators halt and numb. So you can curse the fact that perhaps you're not as creative as you were, that you're not the gladiator that you were, that you're not able to you don't have the creative energy that you used to have. You don't have the strength of the gladiator that you used to have, and you can curse this, but it's not going to make any difference. As the bird trims to the gale, I trim myself to the storm of time. So to trim is to be less intense. You trim a sail, you reduce the sail. So a bird uses less wings, flies less during a gale, during a storm. And I trim myself, I reduce my speed, my expectation in the storm of time. Because I've been in the storm of time for a very long time, and I need to go more slowly. I man the rudder, reef the sail, obey the voice at eve obeyed the prime. So I work out my course. I fold up the sail. I reduce the sail of this sailing boat that's going through time. So there's this metaphor of the body being like a boat, and Now I am obeying the voice at evening, that the voice obeyed at prime. So I'm obeying this voice of nature. And the voice of nature, when I'm in my prime, says, do everything, go as fast as you can, sail as fast as you can in the storm, go where you want. But now I need to obey the voice of evening. Nature says, you're getting old, you need to obey this voice. And I am obeying the same voice that told me in my prime to be berserk, to do anything I wanted. But now this is the voice of reason and economy. Lowly faithful, banish fear, right onward drive unharmed. So, but don't be frightened. Don't be frightened of old age. There's no reason to be frightened of old age. Keep going onwards. Keep going towards the end. The port well worth the cruise is near, and every wave is charmed. So sail your boat to the port. And the port is death, is the end of life. But the journey is worth the cruise. So life is worth living, and yes, sail your boat onwards towards death, towards the end. And every wave is charmed. Every wave of this sea, of this life that you live, is a wonderful thing. So sail onwards towards the port of death. The end of your cruise, the end of your life is near. But keep going, because this is what there is. The thing that is worth it is the journey, not the not the end, not the place where you're going. So, Terminus by Waldo Emerson.